Hey everyone, welcome to The Explainer. I am so thrilled to have you here today. Okay, let's just dive right into this because today we're looking at something truly special. In our modern tech landscape, especially with all the AI news we cover, the automation, and those algorithmically generated feeds, it is so easy to feel like the human element has just been totally stripped out of our daily browsing. Well, today we're exploring an elegant technical solution that's designed to cure the modern web's sense of loneliness. It's called TownSquare. And honestly, it's going to completely change how you think about website engagement. And this quote perfectly captures why this tool even exists. The creator of TownSquare, Kay Napier, hits the nail on the head. He says, "The internet feels strangely empty. It is crowded but lonely." I mean, really think about that for a second. We have literally never had more content, faster bandwidth, or more users online at the exact same time. Yet reading a blog post or just scrolling a web page, it feels like a totally solitary experience. Napier missed those early days of opening a random forum and just finding other people. He wanted to feel that human presence again. So, here's our quick roadmap for today's explainer. We'll start with the crowded yet lonely web, introduce the TownSquare layer, check out its zero infrastructure real-time presence, and then dive into developer integration. After that, we'll cover its ephemeral architecture and limitations, and finally wrap up with the vision for a connected web. All right, section 1, the crowded yet lonely web, and what it really means to miss the human element. So here's the reality. Modern sites are absolutely packed with content, but they are entirely empty of people. If you remember the early internet, it kind of felt like walking into a bustling small cafe, right? Or a literal town square. You could see who was online, you'd bump into people, serendipity was just everywhere. But today, you could be reading an article at the exact same moment as 1,000 other people, and you would literally have no idea. It's like you're all sitting in the same giant virtual room, but the lights are turned off. Well, TownSquare was built to flip those lights back on. It offers this really small, comforting reminder that, yep, there are in fact other human beings out there reading exactly what you're reading. Let's move right into section 2, introducing the TownSquare layer, a tiny shared place. Okay, so what actually is TownSquare? At its core, it's a disposable, ephemeral JavaScript presence layer that you can drop onto literally any website. When a visitor opens a site that has TownSquare installed, they don't just see the page's static content. Right at the bottom of the screen, they see a little strip populated by these cute stick figures wandering around. One of those figures, the orange one, that's you. The black and gray figures, that's everyone else currently browsing the site. It literally transforms a flat page into a living, breathing space. And the interactions, they are incredibly simple and just joyful. There's no learning curve, no tutorial. You just use your arrow keys or swipe on your phone to walk your little character around. If you press T, a chat bubble pops up. Press J to jump, and this is my absolute favorite. If you get close to another person, you can press H to give them a high five. And for the developers out there, this is super lightweight. The creator purposely avoided heavy, bloated animation libraries. Instead, it relies on clean, efficient CSS transforms to handle the gestures. So it's playful, but it's absolutely not going to bog down your page load times. Now, you might be wondering, do people actually use this? Well, check this out. Over 249,000 messages have already been exchanged across registered TownSquares. That's nearly 250,000 messages. People are clearly craving this kind of low-stakes, synchronous connection. They're pausing their coffee breaks to wave at strangers and chat about the article they're both reading. It is a tiny feature, but man, it is generating a massive amount of human warmth. Which brings us to section 3, zero infrastructure, real-time presence. This is where we ditch the backend. Historically, adding real-time presence to a website was an absolute nightmare of infrastructure. A standard setup means you're wrestling with WebSockets, message brokers, complex user auth flows, state management, persistent databases, the whole shebang. But TownSquare, it bypasses all of that. It operates as a totally self-contained module using a single JavaScript snippet that attaches directly to the DOM or document object model. It manages cursor broadcasting and chat routing entirely on the client side. There is zero heavy infrastructure required from the site owner. None. And because it uses this client-side architecture, it gives us something that is incredibly rare today: true digital privacy. There are no accounts, no cookies, no analytics, absolutely no behavioral tracking. When you type a message, it gets sent to the people currently on the site, and then it vanishes. When you close the tab, your session is gone. There's no algorithm ranking your chats, no system trying to optimize your dwell time. It is strictly about sharing a temporary space in the present moment and then moving on. How refreshing is that? All right, section 4, developer, integration, and workflows. Let's see how this comes together in 3 small steps. Let's look at the actual integration, because it is shockingly simple. Seriously, it's just 3 quick steps. Step 1, you paste one single HTML snippet into your site's layout. No build steps, 0 dependencies. Step 2, visitors instantly appear the second they load the page. And step 3, they share the moment. That is literally it. For a developer, this slashes the integration time for synchronous, live features from days of configuring Node.js servers and pulling your hair out over course policies down to just a few minutes. Because it's so simple, TownSquare is a total game changer for specific types of web projects. It's absolutely perfect for static site generators like Hugo or Astro, which, notoriously lack native real-time capabilities. It's also ideal for documentation hubs where authors want to actually see concurrent readers, or personal portfolios when you just want to add a little spark of life. And it is fantastic for niche communities. You get that shared presence, but you absolutely avoid the heavy moderation nightmare of maintaining a permanent database-backed forum. Moving on to section 5, ephemeral architecture and limitations. Basically, what TownSquare isn't. So to be clear, TownSquare is a presence layer. It is not a heavy collaboration suite like Google Docs or Slack. Its state is entirely ephemeral. It only keeps a volatile 20-minute cache that completely clears when the page unloads, unlike the persistent databases of those heavy enterprise suites. Access is totally anonymous, not role-based, and identity is purely session-bound, meaning no user profiles whatsoever. So the big takeaway here is you definitely would not use this for secure data exchange, document editing, or anything that needs an audit log. It's built strictly for lightweight, anonymous awareness. But even with those limits, they still packed in some incredibly charming logic. Take tab hoarders, for example. We've all been there. Initially, if you opened 5 tabs on a single site, you'd show up as 5 separate stick figures. But they updated it. Now, the tool actually groups all tabs from the same browser into one single character. And honestly, this is the best part. If you navigate away and your tab becomes inactive, after a short delay, your little stick figure actually falls asleep right there on the screen. It's just a tiny, delightful detail, but it adds so much personality to the whole experience. Finally, let's wrap up with section 6, building a connected web, and this really cool concept of the indie web ring. The creator has an absolutely incredible vision for where TownSquare goes next. The idea isn't just to have these isolated little islands of presence. The long-term vision is to let you walk your character all the way to the edge of your screen on one website and then seamlessly transport over to a completely different neighboring website. It's basically reviving the old-school concept of a web ring, a network of independent, inhabited corners of the internet all linked together spatially. And that leaves us with a really fascinating thought to chew on. What if every website was connected like a neighborhood? What if the internet felt less like a series of disconnected, lonely billboards just shouting content at us, and more like a vibrant, interconnected town where we could actually see and acknowledge each other as we browse? TownSquare proves that the technology to pull this off doesn't have to be heavy, invasive, or corporate. It literally just takes a single snippet of code and a desire to bring human presence back to the web. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for this explainer. I really hope this sparked your curiosity, and I can't wait to see you in the next one.